Okay, folks, we're going to get started. Please take your seats. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. In back, please be quiet. Please be quiet. Thank you for joining us tonight. Special thanks to you newbies, as always. For those that don't know me, I'm Sam Brancador, Chair of the Berks County Patriots. We're going to have Berks County Coroner John Fielding open our meeting with a prayer on the Pledge of Allegiance. John, up front, please.
Everyone, please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps.
Yes, I realize I am the Berks County Coroner, but relax, it isn't that kind of prayer. Eternal Father, loving God, creator of everything and author of grace everlasting, we invite your presence upon our gathering today. May we find during our time together a common good, a greater purpose, and many productive means to bring glory to you. May we be united in heart and mind as we lift our prayer into a realm we cannot see. We seek your guidance for the realm in which we live with its daily challenges to our moral trajectory as a nation, assaults upon what we know to be right, ridicule for our belief that every life is every bit as precious in the elderly as in the unborn, and relentless threats chipping away at the Constitution, yet we hold it dear because we believe the Founding Fathers had wisdom, Lord, that came from you. We trust, Father, that your word is true when you said, everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Therefore, let us hold our heads high and do your will gladly. As you have said in teaching us how to pray, that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Let it be our aim and our hope. When we see mountains beyond our ability, Lord, help us to remember your word spoken through your prophet Zechariah, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord Almighty. You remind us that mighty mountains will come as level ground. You take the foundation and complete what you begin, aligned with your truth. You remind us not to despise the day of small beginnings, as you are the same God who can part any sea, still any storm, and multiply what little we can supply. We give thanks for the callings upon our lives, and may we each welcome any task you give, doing it in your strength and with all gladness. You are good, Lord, and we thank you for remembering this nation and for preserving the freedom that we have to seek you in life and in prayer. Bless us now, I pray, honoring your holy name. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we won,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Let's rumble on May 17th. What do you think, folks? Folks, in order to give our candidates the maximum amount of time, the BCP will not be doing any BCP business other than our gun raffle and a 50-50 and a statement regarding the election. Folks, this election is like no other. It's the most important election in our lifetime. How many times have you heard that? Well, I think they're all going to be like that. So, for this election, I want you to think. We must vote smart. We must vote to win. Losing is not an option. There are 9 candidates running for governor. The odds are less than 50% will be the primary winner, which means it could be as low as 25%, by the way, which could mean that 75% of the voters, their candidate is going to lose. And 75% of Republican voters are going to need to get behind, most likely, a minority winner in the primary. Will they do that? Will we do that? Absolutely we will. We want to win. We are going to win. And no matter who wins the primary, if it's not my candidate, not your candidate, we must get behind them. Absolutely. Thank you. Folks, all the people here, all the candidates, these are all good people. They would all do great if they won in November. That's my point, folks. If they won in November. Again, reminder, we must vote smart, we must vote to win. Losing is not an option. We need to ask ourselves, of all the candidates running, which one of these candidates has the best chance of beating their Democrat opponent in November? That's what we're looking for. November is our prize. So that's what we need to decide. Who are they going to be? Now, for governor, obviously, we need to beat Shapiro. We cannot let Shapiro win. We cannot let Shapiro win and maybe even have coattails to take over the PA House and Senate. Obviously, Shapiro is the real target. Folks, Wolf is bad, but I want to tell you, Shapiro is going to be Wolf on steroids. Shapiro wants to be president of the United States, and he's going to do everything he can to make a name for himself at the expense of our values and liberties. So he must be defeated. Can you imagine? Now, you know we've gone through 8 years of Democrat rule in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is one of the worst states in the nation in almost every important category. Another 4 to 8 years of Democrats in Harrisburg, folks, it's doomsday. We cannot allow that to happen. We must get behind whatever candidate we think is the best to win and do everything we can for them. Now, I'm talking about governor here, but really, I really mean that for all the candidates. We have Senate candidates here. We have congressional candidates. We have state candidates. We must apply that thinking to all of them. We need to vote next month for the candidates that we feel can win in November. Crucial. Folks, When the candidates speak tonight, I hope they tell you at least two things, basically answering what I just said earlier. Why should we vote for them? Why are they the best candidate to win in November? Why are they the ones that can beat their Democrat opponent? They need to tell us why. They need to give us that reason. Also, they need to tell us if they lose. And folks, many of them are going to lose. Are they going to support the primary winner? Are they? Yes, they are. They must. 110%, because we're all in this together. Even though they lost, they're still on the team, and they need to stand up and be counted. I hope they tell us they're going to do that. I know they will, but I want to hear from them. Finally, again, just repeating, we must vote smart. We must vote to win. Defeat, losing is not an option. Now, I was going to be done right here, but something come up that I need to go another minute, and I hope the legislative chair doesn't pull me off. Last Tuesday, Linda and I went to the Lemon 912 group. Jim Rotke is the chair there, wonderful wife Sue, and their board, great people. Let's see, I saw Paula and Chuck Gross were there, Rod and Ann Miller go, and a lot of our other people. It was a sad night. Last Tuesday was their last meeting due to health reasons. They started up the same time we did. Great people. Jim Rocky's been here several times. There's no one that knows the Constitution better than Jim Rotke. There's no one that knows our founding fathers better than Jim Rotke. There's no one that knows the history, the true history of our country than Jim Rotke. And I do hope to get him back here to speak at another time. After the meeting was over, on the side, the board had voted to give the Berks County Patriots a monetary donation. Now, folks, they could have chosen any group. There's fantastic groups around. Besides the Tea Party groups, you have Right to Life, Second Amendment groups, veterans groups, all fantastic groups. But they chose to give it to the Berks County Patriots. It just goes to show you the bond that the two groups built over the years. So grateful. When Sue gave us the check, she said, "We are passing our torch to you." She said, please carry our torch. Folks, the Berks County Patriots are honored to carry their torch. We will not let that flame extinguish. We will not let the Berks County Patriots flame extinguish. We will carry it on in their honor and our honor. Fantastic group. Hope to have them here soon. Wayne, I'm done. We'll start the candidate night program, bringing up Wayne Lesher, who's a legislative chair. I know I went over time. Maybe you can make it up somehow. Oh, just one second. Do you want to?
Do you want to do a gun?
Yes, yes. We want a rumble? We got a lottery.
Let's do a gun.
Raffle.
Come on
Let's
out
go.
here, John. We're going to have our coroner draw this. Reach in there, John, pull one out. Get over there. Keep going. I'm teasing you. Go ahead. This is for the Springfield XT9 9mm, which includes a 3,000 round magazine, according to the latest Democratic pundits. The winner, 070, a Dan Tobias. Dan, are you here with us tonight? Dan Tobias, there you go. Congratulations, Dan. Come on up, sir. All right, Dan, that's for the Springfield XT9.
Which one was split?
Oh, you got a bunch of them. 070, there's our winner. And we're going to do the AR-15. Who wants to draw that? Let's do that. We're going to have John do that. So we want to thank you, folks. We sold out for the AR-15. And like I said, we have a Glock back there now, the first one we've ever done. And we're going to have John draw for the AR-15. (022) Guy Hedrick. There he is. Hey, congratulations, Guy. I know Guy does buy a lot of tickets. First time winner. Look at that. There you go, buddy. I need to see your ticket, though. I don't trust anybody. Good enough? Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at Rod. Give Rod a wave the Rod. He's over there. All right, folks. And if you want to get your Glock tickets, get back there and get your Glocks. I know it's not American made, but it helps support the Patriots and what we do. Thank you, folks. Oh, let me remind everybody, especially those in the back, let's be quiet when we have our speakers speaking. Give them respect. Every candidate gets respect up on this stage. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, John. Thank you for purchasing the tickets. Congratulations to you winners, and we will have more. Okay, up, as I said, our legislative chairman, Wayne Lesher. Come and get him, boy. Break a leg.
Thanks, Sam. First of all, I think you folks should give yourselves a pat on the back. There's 26 candidates here tonight, and they all have very busy schedules. And they decided that coming here to Berks Patriots to talk to you folks was worth their time to come up to Hamburg. Now we have, yeah. So 23 are speaking. 3 graciously said they didn't need time to speak, and I just wanted to point that out. We got Tracy Pennycook. She's running for the state senate, the 124th district, which is a pretty good part of Berks County now that they changed the districts around. We have Dave Golowaski. If I'm messing up your name, I'm sorry. I'm horrible at that. He's running for the 5th representative district. And then we have Vince Galeriato. He's with the 127th district, which is now includes Shillington and Cumru's 6th and 7th precinct. So if you want, they're in the back there with tables. You just go talk to them. Our first up, and not least, is Jill Saunders running for the 124th district, which includes Hamburg right here. So Jill?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jill Saunders, and I'm running for state representative of District 124. I've been a resident of this district my entire life. I'm currently living in Hamburg. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a conservative outsider. I'm actually a licensed welder as well, and I was a professional tennis player. Some of my recent accomplishments are I was voted Best Realtor in Schuylkill County in 2021, and I was nominated for that exact same position in 2022. I know how to run a business. I was, like I said, a professional tennis player, and I played in the U.S. Open in 2011. And let me tell you what I stand for. Let me give you a little bit of what I'm going to do for you. I am a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. And I not only preach it, but I actually carry it all the time with me. I believe in school choice. I believe that parents should have the right to send their kids to the school of their choice without the fear of penalty from the government. I'm very strong pro-life. I believe that life starts at conception, and I will fight for the right of life at every single age. Also, I know that voter fraud is a huge concern for everybody because if we don't have control of our elections, we don't have anything. So I believe in mandatory photo ID for voting. If you need photo ID to purchase cigarettes, to buy a house, to buy a car, you need photo ID to show up and vote. No questions asked. I believe in eliminating Act 77, absolutely no drop boxes, right? No more no excuse voting. If you're a veteran or if you're sick and you can't come out to vote, okay, but no more just drop boxes and filling up these drop boxes. What makes me different than the other candidates out there that are running? One, I'm the only one that owns my own business. I am a small business owner, and I'm a conservative outsider. And I believe that running a state is a lot like running a small business. And that's something that I'm very passionate about and I'm very good at. I'm very good at negotiating. Also, one of the goals that I have in Harrisburg is I'm going to form a conservative bloc of American First patriots, other state representatives that are like-minded, that we could band together and get these bills passed that you guys want done. They aren't going to die on the floor. As a realtor and one of the best realtors in both counties, I have very good negotiating skills, and I will work with both sides to get things done. I will not use this office as a cozy place to hibernate. If elected, I will only serve 3 terms, and I will not collect a pension. And like I said, I'm a conservative outsider. I will never walk in lockstep with the party leaders like Jake Corman, like Brian Cutler. Rather, I will be a part of the conservative voter bloc as I spoke about, with the intent of delivering freedom and liberty to my constituents. I believe that the establishment needs to bend to the will of the people, rather than the people bending to the will of the establishment. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your support. Have a good night.
All right, thanks, Jill. Next up, we have Lieutenant Governor candidate James Jones. He has to leave for another engagement, so he's going to be right up here. Thanks.
Good evening, everybody. Come on now, we're better than that, Patriots. Good evening, everybody. I love it. I love being around Patriots. I love it. And here's why. You know, I became a member of the Tea Party Patriots back in 2008 because we are the folks who want to see and to make actionable items change in our party and in our Commonwealth. So thank you all for being here tonight. I am James Earl Jones. I am running for Lieutenant Governor. And here's why you all need to vote for me. I am a patriot, and I'm well focused on what the mission is that I'm assigned to do as the Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. You know, we have to do a couple things. We need to remember what made America beautiful and what makes Pennsylvania beautiful. Somehow we've lost that luster. We've lost that desire. And in the pinnacle of what's taken place over the last 8 years, and specifically over the last 18 months in Washington, we've lost it. We've lost medical freedom. We've lost religion. We've lost voter integrity. And we have to remember, once again, what we, the people, have to do to bring it back again. Make it come full circle. Go ahead. It's all right. I won't hold it against you. I think right now, folks, we have people in office who think they're far greater intelligent than our founding fathers were. You know, and I hear the Star-Spangled Banner, I get excited every single time I hear it. Chill bumps run down my spine. I used to be a kickboxer, and every time they played the Star-Spangled Banner, whether I was in the United States or whether I was in another foreign country fighting, I would get excited because I represented the United States of America. I represent we the people, even in fighting in the ring. Here's what I'm going to tell you a bit about my background and why I am so focused, and that's why you guys need me as your next Lieutenant Governor. I've been through 3 wars, Vietnam, Beirut, and First Gulf War. I trained Navy SEALs. Thank you. I trained Navy SEALs, and ladies and gentlemen, I still got a lot of that Rambo fight left in me. Okay? I am a pro-life Christian. I'm a constitutionalist. I am a First Amendment, Second Amendment, and a 10th Amendment person. And I'll fight for your rights. I'll fight for we the people. I think we have people right now in Harrisburg let us down. They dropped the ball on us, guys. They allowed government overreach to take advantage of us. And as a businessman, I've been responsible for well over 275,000 people. I've managed budgets well over $200 million. I've dealt with 26 labor union contracts, and I've dealt with 26,000 union workers who walked off the job. I know how to be able to bring people back together again, folks. I'm what they call a Frederick Douglass conservative. Go ahead. Frederick Douglass inspired the 16th president of the United States with the Emancipation Proclamation. We have reason to have a lot of people set free in Pennsylvania. First of all, my platform is real simple. I have a 3 to 5 year business plan that includes the economy, the environment, education, and energy. I'm a businessman. That's why we need a 3 to 5 year business plan. We need to be smart enough to realize if you're going to run a commonwealth this big, you can't get out there and make promises and not honor and keep those promises when you're actually in office. I campaigned with President Donald Trump in 2016. One thing I learned from him is that when you make promises, you have to honor those promises, folks. Honor your promises. Actually, words and deeds are nothing unless you can fulfill them. God bless you. Thank you. Patriots, Jones for Lieutenant Governor, PA.com. God bless you. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, James. All right, next up we have Christian Nacimento. He's running for the 4th Congressional District in Berks County.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's wonderful to be here. I feel safer in this room than I do anywhere in Montgomery County because only the good guys have guns here. My name is Christian Nacimento. I am running for Congress in the 4th Congressional District, which is Montgomery County and Berks County. And I'm running for a very simple reason. I love this country so much, and I hate what's happening to it right now. My family came to this country in 1952, landed in Montgomery County, and because of the country that this is, because of how America is, my family was able to come with nothing and build a middle-class life for our family. And what I've seen day after day, month after month, year after year, has that been chipped away. Our freedoms have never been more under attack than they are right now. I'm running for Congress because Washington, D.C. right now is one of the biggest threats that we have to our individual liberties and freedoms. I believe right now that the federal government, controlled by the far left, is doing everything they can to completely transform this country. And I have never seen an example in history of where turning a country more socialist was a benefit to the people. Background on me, I'm a businessman, I'm a former school board president, but most of all, I'm father of 4 children. And for the first time in history, surveys say that Americans think that life will be worse for their children. It doesn't have to be like that. There is nothing wrong with America that we can't fix if we take back America. If you honor me with your vote, and if you send me to Congress, I will fight every day to make sure that parents have a voice and a choice in where and how their children are educated. I will fight hard every day to make sure that we have safety here, that our streets are safe, that our borders are secure, that our infrastructure is secure. And I will fight hard every day to make sure that we bring the supply chain back to America and we create good jobs for Americans. I am a businessman that has managed hundreds of millions of dollars in budgets and have created products that have created hundreds of jobs. I'm a former school board president that stared down the Teamsters and created an environment where children were able to thrive. So I know how to do all of this. And if you send me to Congress, every day I will work hard for the people that I represent. And I could win because I grew up in Montgomery County, I live in Montgomery County, I know the county, I know Berks County, and I know what our current representative doesn't, which is that we can inspire people to go off and take this country back. We have been through so much with COVID, with everything that has happened. People are fed up, and we need to go out and we need to knock on every door. We need to get people that agree with us, and we need to convince people that don't, and we need to take this country back once and for all. So I just want to again say thank you. I would appreciate your support. Go to www.cnforpa.com and sign up. We can't do this alone. We have to build a team, a coalition of Americans, of patriots that care about this country, and we will do it. And come November, we'll win the House. And if we win the House, we win the entire House, we win the Senate, and then finally we can hold Biden and his cronies accountable. So thank you for having me. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Christian. And now we have Guy Sharak for the 6th Congressional District. Guy?
Good evening, everyone. Come on, I'm only the 4th speaker. You can't be tired yet. Good evening, everyone. All right. My name's Guy Sharak, and I'm running for Congress. I'm going to take you back and explain why. So 2 years ago, 25 months ago, when 2 weeks to flatten the curve became several months, I was the first chamber president in Pennsylvania to speak out against the mandates and the lockdowns and what they were doing to small businesses and our kids. And I didn't speak out in May and June of 2020 because I thought he'd be standing here today. I spoke out because I saw the harm that big government was doing. Just like those of us who are conservative have warned people for years that the Democratic Party was interested in growing power and taking away responsibility from us in our lives. That's why I spoke out, and we saw the harm firsthand. Now, it wasn't the first time I spoke out, and it won't be the last. And eventually we knew we had to change the Constitution, so I took a leadership role in the Vote Yes campaign because we learned the legislature couldn't help us. We learned the courts wouldn't protect us, so we had to change the Constitution to make sure that no governor could ever do that to us again. And together, we won. Now, for me, that wasn't the first time I spoke out. And again, I didn't do it because I thought I'd be standing here today. I went my first March for Life in 1997, not so I'd be standing here today. I helped pass the charter school law and the education tax credit so the kids would have choices and parents would have more choices. But our work isn't done. I joined the Federalist Society in law school, not so I could tell you about it, but because I believe in defending our Constitution. When I graduated law school after I put myself through, I became a prosecutor to stand on the side of law enforcement and protect our neighborhoods. Not so I could tell you today. Friends, I share these things with you not to impress you with my resume. It's to tell you who I am. I've been standing with you and fighting for the things we believe throughout my professional career because it's the right thing to do. We know what the problems are today. Our economy's in trouble. Violent crimes on the rise. Parents are being pushed out of schools. Government's grown too big. And the President of the United States of America is on the phone begging Venezuela, Russia, and the Saudis for an energy when we have enough energy to take care of ourselves and our allies for 2 centuries. And while this happened, Chrissy Houlihan voted for everything and sat quietly while Tom Wolf took our rights away. You know I won't sit quietly because I haven't sat quietly for 4 decades. And when I get to Washington, because it's not a game. See, it's not about the red jerseys against the blue jerseys. It's not about Republicans winning so we can take power from them. It's about Republicans winning so we can restore power to us. So my job is not just to beat Chrissy Houlihan, but it's to make sure the Republican Congress keeps its promise. We will reopen our energy. We will empower parents. We will get government off the back of small business. We will restore the Constitution. My creed is this. You've heard it before. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all are created equal and endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. And they are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That will be the hallmark of the next Congress, and I'll make sure they'll do it with your help. Thank you, and God bless you.
Hey, folks in the back, give us a break. The people in the back to the chairs, they'd like to hear what's going on up here. All right, thanks, Guy. Next up, we have Chris Gebhardt. He's with the 48th Senate District, which is a good part of that. It used to be Dave Argle's territory, which is it's now going to be Chris's. Chris?
Good evening. Hello, Berks County. My name is Chris Gebhardt. I am the senator from the 48th district, and that currently is Lebanon County and Dauphin County and some of York County. And now with the redistricting process, I'm going to be representing Lebanon County, Lancaster County, and most of northern Berks County. And I'm certainly excited about that opportunity. I think it is a much better cultural fit for Lebanon County, where I'm from, so I'm excited for that. So I'm a little bit of an oddity here. I am up for re-election this year, but honestly, if we were talking about a year ago, I had never run for office in my entire life. I had never run for anything. I had never held an office. I honestly wasn't even that active in local party politics. I'm a small business owner. I own a insurance and risk management firm in Lebanon, and I was quite happy with what I was doing. But when Senator Dave Arnold passed away in January of last year, I felt like, something stirred inside me, and it was really a calling. And I thought, this is my opportunity to do a little bit more. I was like probably most of you in this room. I was extremely frustrated with the way the Commonwealth was going. I was frustrated with the mandates and the draconian lockdowns that we were getting from our governor. I was frustrated that it felt like we had no say in what was happening and what we were able to do. And so I decided I'm going to try to do more. And so I ran for the Senate seat last year. I was blessed enough to win, and I'm currently filling out that term. And so now I'm up for re-election, and I have been on this job for less than a year. But my first day on the job was the day that we had the opportunity to vote to end the emergency declaration. It was an honor for me to be able to do that, but it was an honor that was given to me by all of you. Everyone that voted for the constitutional amendment change is the one that gave us the right in the legislature to end that emergency. And I certainly thought, wow, this is great, and we've accomplished a lot of what had been frustrating me. But what I realized very quickly is that was just the beginning. And it was just the beginning of what has become a major fight. And that fight is we are really in a fight for our freedoms. We are in a fight we're in a fight for medical freedom, to be able to make our own choices. We're in a fight for the freedom to bear arms, and we're in a fight to protect the unborn. And those are all things that we need to do. And so I'm running unopposed, so I'm certainly excited to have some support here in May. And I'm also, I'm going to work as hard as I can to accomplish these goals. And I'll look forward to having your support in November. Thank you.
I'll drop it if I put it back in.
Great, thanks, Chris. Next up, we have Joe Gale, the governor candidate. I know, here he comes. Knew he was in the room. Thanks, Joe.
Good evening, Berks County Patriots. Always great to be here. My name is Joe Gale. I currently serve in my second term as Montgomery County Commissioner, and I'm a candidate for governor. And what drove me to run for Montgomery County Commissioner in the first place back in 2015 was the Montgomery County Republican Committee endorsed a board member of Planned Parenthood. The Republican Party endorses a board member of Planned Parenthood. And I was raised as a conservative, pro-life Catholic, and I was appalled that the Republican Party would endorse that. And leading up to that point, I became frustrated with weak Republicans that aren't true conservatives. And as you all know, we call them rhinos, Republican in name only. And when they endorsed Planned Parenthood, I decided to run against the party establishment, unendorsed, to give people a clear, conservative, pro-life choice, and I won. And it was a big upset. And from day one, I've never associated with the Republican Party establishment swamp. Because frankly, everything they touch goes to crap, especially here in Pennsylvania. If you look at the last litany of statewide Republicans that we've had, every single one of them has been a tremendous disappointment, dating back to Arlen Specter, the original rhino, replaced by Pat Toomey, who's just as bad as Arlen Specter. And the last Republican governor we had who was so bad, he was unable to get reelected, and that's how we ended up with Tom Wolf, and that was Tom Corbett. And the legacy of the Corbett administration was giving Pennsylvania the highest gas tax in the whole entire nation, 58 cents per gallon. And that revenue collected is supposed to go towards fixing our roads. I don't have to say anything else. On top of the highest gas tax, we also have the highest tolled road in the world, not the country, the world. And that's the Pennsylvania Turnpike, where about $450 million of that revenue a year goes to public transportation in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia instead of going towards the road that we're driving on to maintain it. So the whole thing is screwed up. But when we gave Corbett a Republican majority in the state Senate and the state House, all we got was the highest gas tax in the country. And what they failed to do was accomplish the conservative agenda for Pennsylvania. And that includes prevailing wage reform, open up the bid process, create more competition, and drive down the costs of these public construction projects. They failed to get that done. They failed to get pension reform done for state employees, moving new hires from defined benefit to defined contribution plans. They failed to get paycheck protection done. They failed to get property tax reform done. They failed to get school choice done. They failed to get voter ID done. They failed to privatize the liquor stores. They failed to uphold traditional marriage between a man and a woman. It collapsed under Corbett. It was a disaster. But they alienated us because they gave us a big, fat, whopping gas tax, and that's what gave us Tom Wolf. And I'm stepping up to the plate because I'm a true conservative with a backbone that has a proven ability of winning very challenging races. I'm 4 for 4. Where every time I run for office, they spend millions of dollars. I always have a very challenging race, and I win. And I win because I have a proven ability of putting people before politics. No other candidates outwork the Gale brothers. You'll hear from Sean Gale later tonight, who's running for United States Senate. At unprecedented levels, we go directly to the people. We don't go to the swamp fests with the swamp creatures and kiss the rings and play Mother May I. We go to you, the Republican primary voters of Pennsylvania, with a non-conventional style and a non-conventional message. And we're stepping up to the plate because we know the Republican Party has a long history of letting us down. And on day one, I will accomplish a conservative agenda and start moving that forward on day one because I will hold the Republicans accountable in the state House and the state Senate. We know going into every situation The Democrats are not going to support our common sense conservative agenda. All we need is for Republicans to do what they're supposed to do. And I'm going to hold the Republicans in Harrisburg accountable. And if they don't support that conservative agenda, I'm going to support primary challenges against them. And I have the ability to do that because the Republican Party never made me. The Republican Party can't break me. And that gives me the freedom and independence to hold my own side accountable and actually deliver results. And the last thing we need is to nominate someone for governor that voted for Act 77. The unconstitutional mail-in voting law that gave Pennsylvania 50 days of no-excuse mail-in voting. And every Republican voted for it. I exposed the truth about it. The blood's on the hands of the Republicans, including Doug Mail-in Mastriano, and we cannot afford to have him as a Republican nominee for governor. He's part of the problem, not part of the solution. I encourage you to get on board with Team Gale. We're real conservatives. We know how to win, and we have a proven record of doing just that. Thank you for this evening. I appreciate the opportunity, and God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you, Joe. Next up, we have another candidate for the State 124th Representative District, Earl Lavage.
Good evening. I'm Elver Lavage, your local Windsor Township committee person. I've been coming to the Patriots here with you guys for years. I appreciate this group. I appreciate the things we learn here. And I would like your support as I run for the 124th. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am the Berks Republican Women Vice Chair. I volunteered for many others, helping them to uphold the values of the Republican Committee. I started out at Stevens Trade School, and I'm for the trades, humble beginnings at Stevens in Lancaster. Then I went to Penn State, and I got a bachelor in business. And from there, I'm now at Liberty University, and I'm getting my doctorate. I'm definitely pro-life. I believe in the sanctity of life, from conception to natural death. It's over the continuum of life. Even the care for our senior adults is very important. I'm pro-police, pro-gun, pro-life, and I'm pro-voter ID. I'm against CRT and the teaching in school. Yes, yes. And books like Genderqueer in the libraries for elementary school kids. I say let kids be kids in elementary school. I'm well-rounded with a good ear to listen to the voice of the people. And I have the wisdom, and I've done my due diligence to be able to write good laws for the people of the District 124th. Not only write them, but modify existing laws. And I humbly ask for your support, and it's my honor to run in this race. Thank you.
Thanks, El. And next up, we have a candidate for Lieutenant Governor, Jeff Coleman. Jeff?
Well, I was asking my friend Sam Rohr. Do you all remember Sam Rohr? He's standing over there tonight. He was actually the one who challenged that governor, that Republican governor, a few years ago. I asked him, I said, Sam, can you quote me as I was talking tonight? Can you tell me when that scripture passage was when the three Hebrew boys committed that dastardly act of civil disobedience in the Old Testament? He said, Jeff, I think it was around 2000 A.D. And I'm going to depart from what I was planning on saying tonight because I wanted, as I was listening to these comments tonight and thinking about what the Christian response is to this extraordinary moment in American history. And how did the three Hebrew boys who were committing this act against a mandate, against a government that had gone out of control that says you will bow down to the golden image that I have set up, and you will do it this way, at this time, at this place, on this plane. And what was the response that all of us learned in Sunday school, right? The three Hebrew boys walked to the flames and said, "O King, live forever." And then they said, "Our God is able to deliver us, but if not, we will still not bow down and worship the golden image that you have set up." Now here's the difference. The difference in that moment and in this moment today is that many of us have decided that it is okay to do the civil disobedience part. It's okay to say that you trust God. But then in the same breath that we say trust God, we put bumper stickers on the back of our trucks and we put flags in front of our homes that deny the three words that say, "In God we trust." If we are believers, if we follow Christ, and many of you do, and some of you, I understand, don't, but there's a way to engage in this process that says to the world, we'll reject the mandates, we'll stand up, we'll say no. But in the end, we trust God. In this political moment, every political speaker that comes to this podium has a choice to make. Politicians can feel the fear in the room. We all can. The choice that the politician has is to take you on a journey in two directions. One that says, "Come with me, I'll stoke those fears and elect me, and we'll solve the problems together." The other says, as our founders did, that the ultimate solution is in God, that the power is in the hands of the people, and that people who are rightly motivated and rightly principled, working within the framework of the Constitution and our system of laws, can change things. Look, let me talk very specifically in 2 minutes about the role of lieutenant governor. The next governor will have 1,640 days to get the agenda done. 1,640 days, that's it. Have you heard all they've promised? School choice, yes. A human life amendment, absolutely. Limits on taxes and spending, the taxpayer protection amendment that says we're not going to grow government faster than the rate of inflation and population growth. But here's the problem. If we go in guns a-blazing with the name-calling and the sarcasm and we ignore the rules, all the rules that are contained in that little book Sam and I served under called Mason's Manual, some of them that Thomas Jefferson wrote, that were based on this idea, the equality of the members, that said, as Jefferson did, because you are made in the image of God, you might be a Democrat, you might be a socialist, you might wear the blue jersey, but we believe that you deserve dignity and honor and respect. We will defeat you on the ideas, but we will not mock you. We will not curse you. We will not destroy you, because if you are a Christ follower, if you are a person that believes that ultimately our citizenship is in heaven, there's a different way to engage in politics. So I'm asking you tonight to join me on a little experiment, which everyone won't agree with, that when we go to the polls, we go joyfully. We do what Rosa Parks did when she stood up to injustice, and we said, "I'll say no, thank you, but I'll do it with joy in my heart, and I'll go to jail, but ultimately I'll trust that the day that God releases me will be the right day that He releases me." That would change everything. Look, I went to Liberty University, and our slogan was Champions for Christ. Dr. Falwell, every Wednesday, would get up at convocation, and he would talk about the people he debated on CNN the night before. And then he would tell us what happened in the green room. Conversations that were about the eternal things that mattered. Let's not destroy our opponents. Let's defeat them on the ideas, and let's win on our principles. We can do that. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Jeff. And next we have a familiar face, Barry Jazwiak of the 5th Representative District. Thanks.
Good evening. I'm State Representative Barry Jazwiak. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm a veteran of the United States Navy. I served 25 years in the Pennsylvania State Police. After that, I served as the sheriff of Berks County for 12 years, and I've been the state representative for the 5th Legislative District for 7 years. You know, the need for a strong conservative leadership has never been more apparent than over the past 2 years, and that's why I'm running for election. I stood up to Governor Wolf on his reckless mandates when he intimidated businesses to close them and put penalties on them financially and wanted to take their licenses. I helped push through the constitutional amendment, which you all helped push through, to strip him of his abusive powers. I'm one of the 14 legislators that have personally filed a lawsuit to rule Act 77 unconstitutional. And Dave Maloney's here. He's another one with me. He's one of the other 14. There's 3 of us from Berks County that represent Berks County. We're paying for that out of our own pockets, by the way. It's not tax dollars. I filed a bill called the Second Amendment Protection Act, which means no law enforcement officer can arrest anybody for violation of our Pennsylvania Constitution, which says we have the right to keep and bear arms. It will not be questioned. I also have a bill known as the Executive Order Review Act, which means the President of the United States, they told me you can't do this. I said, yes, we can. This president puts out these executive orders, and we're supposed to say, oh, yes, master. Well, that's not the way it works. We passed a bill. It's over in the Senate right now. If an order comes out, the General Assembly can say we're going to review this bill with our state government oversight committee and decide if we're going to do anything with it or not. So during the pandemic, we helped businesses. We gave them $1.2 million to $1 billion to keep them open. And that was for businesses that had 100 people or less. So just so you know, we protected our constitutional rights. We put forth reasonable budgets. We held the line on sales and income taxes. We fully funded our schools while still trying to eliminate school property taxes. And I am continually supported by law enforcement. We will not ever defund the police. And this is important. I'm well respected on both sides of the aisle. Last year, I sponsored 15 bills, co-sponsored 260 bills, and during the pandemic, we helped 5,646 residents that had problems in the 5th District. We also brought in $19.2 million in grant money. I'm almost finished. I was invited to the Conservative Political Action Conference in Orlando, Florida, because I received the Conservative Legislator Award. That's not given out to most people, but that's how conservative we vote. And folks, I'll tell you what, I'm proud of the work we've done on behalf of the 5th District. I will continue to stand up for small business and families to protect our conservative values. I will work towards energy independence, election integrity, voter ID. We will protect the unborn. We will protect the Second Amendment. We will control inflation and always back the blue. One more sentence, thank you. I'm endorsed by the National Rifle Association, the National Federation of Independent Businesses, the Pro-Life Federation, and the Pennsylvania State Troopers Association, congressmen, senators, state representatives, county commissioners, the district attorney, the sheriff who's here, and many township people. I got the red flag, so I got to get back down, and I say thank you very much, and I appreciate your support and vote on May 17th. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Now we're going to take a little break from candidates. Next up, we're going to have John Shepard, who's a member of the Berks Patriots, a member of the Convention of States, among many other things. He also supplies our guns. So he's going to come up and talk to you about the We the People convoy and bypass rallies. John?
Thank you. Thank you. I want to say that I appreciate being here. I'm probably the only person that's not running for something, but to something. And it starts this Saturday. The We the People's Convoy is relatively new to Pennsylvania. The concept is to have a statewide platform of activity where people can stand up with us and express the issues that they have with our government. And they're innumerable, and we know that. It's been our goal here in the state to reach like minded people. We would like to have a nonpartisan and sort of a diversified organization. We think it's important that everybody has a word, that truth has got to come out in government. I think it's missing. I think it's a tremendous loss. People suffer from it. We have suffered through the pandemic with it, and it is a matter that we finally need to elect officials who are not promoting their own agenda. They are there for one reason and one reason over: serve the state of Pennsylvania. If you're in the federal system, then you're here to satisfy, service, and benefit the citizens of the United States. So with that, in addition to it being the convoy of Pennsylvania, we are also setting up a state platform. And in every state, we hope to have a convoy group. And that group will work towards the same means. And that means is to restore our freedoms, our civil liberties, to observe and watch our government that it's functioning properly, and be a solid voice for the people in the community. What we need mostly tonight is for everybody in this room to stand up. We need people to come out. We understand that politicians watch polls. They believe in polls. They live by polls. And you're the poll. So if you stand up and say, we're not happy with you, there's going to be change, are you going to be part of the change? Are you going to miss out? But the reality of it is that's our whole agenda, is to get out in front. Saturday, we will have 10 speakers there. 2 will be from the truckers convoy that came across country. It was decided back in March that our organization would be formed. Our focus right now is a major focus is eliminating the Emergency Power Acts. This is where our trouble's coming from. It opens up the door to them destroying our Constitution. We cannot allow this. There is some outrageous legislation in every state. And it is important that if we are aware of it, hooray, we place our vote. But long before them, we need to stand up and say, the change is now. We are a peaceful organization. I stress that because we can go anywhere as a peaceful protest. We respect the communities that we're in. We respect the fact that we're on public ground and we own that ground. So we leave it sometimes better than when we got there. But our message is always the same. Stand up. Let these people in Harrisburg know that enough is enough. That if you're there to promote your agenda, we will work to remove you from that. The second thing is we ended every meeting in the convoy at Hagerstown. And our final thing was the next day, remind them that they work for us. And they do. There is not one public building out there that's not supported. There's not one program that's not supported by you folks here. And we hope that you will stand for the right and the righteous and change what's going on in our country and our world and our state. I thank you very much. I'd like to close with this. I hope I can get it right. But I heard once that the ultimate measure or test of a person's conscience is whether you will sacrifice today for generations in the future without a thank you. And that's about where we're going to be. So I thank you once again, and I hope you'll stop back and see us. We have a table here in the back. Thank you.
Hey, we're going to do a quick t-shirt toss. We did one last month. Seemed to work out well. People were happy. Well, the guy who won it was happy. If it's not your size, lose weight, I guess. I don't know. We'll change it for your size. So I'm going to go back behind the screen again, give this a wing out into the crowd so they can't say, Steve, you threw it to your buddy again. So here we go. We all set? 1, 2. It didn't go that far. Let me see what happens here. Here we go. 3. Where's the winner? Oh, he's back there. Congratulations, sir. If it's not your size, go back to the t-shirt table and they'll exchange it for the proper one. Thanks. Thanks, Wayne. Go ahead.
Great. Thanks, Steve. And thank you, John. Okay, up next we have another familiar face. We have Dan Muser of the 9th Congressional District.
Well, folks, great to be here with you. Thank you. I want to thank Sam and Linda Brancadora and many others for bringing these Berks Patriots together. If we're going to make America great again, I think this is where it's going to start. That's right. So, Joe Biden, we could all probably go through, I know, I agree. We all could probably start from A to Z and go through the catastrophes this individual has created for our country and backed by the Democrats in the House. Let's try. A, Afghanistan. B, border control, right, out of control. C, COVID crisis, China crisis, take your pick. D, deficits out of control. E, energy crisis. F, let's go Brandon. So, you know, Sleepy Joe said, what are Republicans for? What are conservatives for? And I want to tell you something. I think as the U.S. member of the United States House of Representatives representing the 9th, I want to tell Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, what Republicans are for. First of all, we're for the United States Constitution, Joe. We are for the First Amendment. We are against censorship. We believe in God. We want God in the public sector as well as the private sector. We believe in the right of the unborn to pursue happiness. We believe in the Second Amendment and all that it means to us and to the rights that it maintains for our country. We believe, Sleepy Joe, in national security, along with supporting our troops and making our military the strongest in the world. Are there any veterans in the room? I know there are a lot of them. Thank you for your service. We believe in domestic energy. We believe in border security. Folks, we believe in having the strongest economy in the world and assuring that America remains the land of opportunity and will always be where the American dream can be realized. You know what? It's going to start here. It's going to start in Pennsylvania. It's going to start with winning. And you know, come this November, we're going to be winning so much, you're going to start getting sick of winning. What do you think about that? To borrow a phrase. And in my help that I'm going to be working on for my district to ensure we win majority in the House, right? That day is going to come in January where that gavel is taken from Nancy Pelosi, and I'm going to be sitting right there. And we're going to take it from her forever. We're going to win in 22. We're going to win in 24. And this gentleman here is putting up a red flag. I'm against red flags, but I respect what you're doing. God bless you. God bless Berks County. But God bless the Berks Patriots.
Thanks, Dan. Next up, we have a governor candidate, Bill McSwain. He was going to try and be here last month, but it didn't quite work out. So, Bill?
So I'm Bill McSwain. I'm running for governor, and I am a conservative outsider. I have never run for office before, and I think that's what we need in our next governor. We need somebody who's going to fight for conservative principles, who doesn't owe anything to the Harrisburg swamp. I was raised in Chester County, right down the road in Westchester. And after I was raised in Chester County, I became a United States Marine. Any Marines in the house? Hoorah, brother. I served in the 1st Battalion, 4th Marine Infantry Regiment in Camp Pendleton, California. And I went to the Persian Gulf. I was deployed in 1996. And I loved my experience in the Marine Corps and served the country that we all love. And after I finished my time in the Marine Corps, I became a prosecutor. I served as the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, which includes Berks County. I served as your United States Attorney in the Trump administration. And let me tell you about some of the things I did as your United States Attorney. First of all, Vaughn Spencer, you ever heard of him? Former mayor of Reading. He's the former mayor because I put him in jail. You heard of Ed Pulowski? Former mayor of Allentown? He's the former mayor because I put him in jail. I put violent criminals in jail. I put corrupt public officials in jail. And when Philadelphia was burning 2 summers ago, the summer of riots, I led the effort to stop those riots. And I put everybody who torched a police car and had a little dance party in front of City Hall with upside-down police cars, I put them in jail. I also stopped heroin injection sites from invading any communities in Berks County or anywhere else in Pennsylvania. I filed a lawsuit to stop that crazy idea from coming to Pennsylvania. I walked into court myself, and I argued the case as a real prosecutor, and I won that case, so heroin injection sites will not be coming to a town near you. I'm proud of my record as U.S. Attorney. I'm proud of standing up for the law-abiding citizens of Berks County. I'm proud of standing up for all of you, and I'm proud to have served the law and order agenda of President Trump, who was a great president. He was a great president. You're not going to hear me criticize President Trump. Okay, he was a great president. I approved of his policies, and we all miss him. We wish he were president today. But now we have to think about 22. We have to think about this fall. We have to think about winning the governor's race. And we know we're going to be against Josh Shapiro. And we have to nominate the candidate in the primary on May 17th who's going to beat Josh Shapiro. I am the person who can beat him. And let me tell you why. You've got to create a contrast, first of all. I'm a conservative. He's a liberal. I've never run for office before. He's a career politician. I love freedom and individual rights and stood up for that for my whole career. He loves mandates and government control. I'm a real prosecutor. He's a fake prosecutor who's never prosecuted a case in his life. I'm a United States Marine, and he's not. So when you go to the polls on May 17th, just don't think about that day. Think about November. Think about how we got to beat this guy. And think about voting for Bill McSwain, because I'm the guy who's going to beat him. And as frustrating as it has been for you and for me during these last 8 years of the Wolf administration, help is on the way. We are just months away. We are just one election away from transforming our state. I hope we'll do that together. God bless you, and thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Bill. Next up, we have Senate candidate Carla Sands. You may have seen a commercial or two. Come on, Carla.
Hello, Berks County Patriots. Are we going to send an America First senator to Washington to represent you, or are we going to send John Fetterman? I hope not. I am the only candidate in this race who's actually put America first since 2016. I was President Trump's ambassador to Denmark, Greenland, and the Faroe Islands from 2017 until 2021, putting every one of you first every single day. I'm from Cumberland County, from a big, loving, faith-filled home. In fact, my little sister Rhonda's here with me. Will you wave? And this is largely a faith campaign. It's grassroots, and it's people from the churches and the homes and the businesses. We're coming out, and we're the salt and the light. We are coming out to the public square, and we're taking our country back. We're putting forward the rule of law, protecting our Constitution. We are done with the radical policies of the Biden administration and his henchwomen like Nancy Pelosi and AOC. If you will vote for me on May 17th, I will win in November, and it will be the last day of the Biden presidency supremacy. We will stop him in his tracks. I'm a pro-life, pro-First Amendment, pro-Second Amendment, constitutional conservative, America First businesswoman and Christian and mom. I ran a small business as a doctor of chiropractic alongside my dear father in Camp Hill, and I ran a larger company with a nationwide footprint and hundreds of employees. That's what I was doing when I met Donald Trump. But I'm also an 8th generation Pennsylvanian. And my Pennsylvania ancestors fought in the American Revolution and in the Civil War. And this is our time to fight for the heart and soul of our great nation. I became the U.S. ambassador in 2017 and moved to Copenhagen, working for every single American as President Trump's personal representative. And we worked to counter Russia and China. I did it by working with the Department of Defense and with NATO. And we were so successful that the Department of Defense gave me their highest civilian honor. It's called the Medal for Distinguished Public Service. We also worked to create jobs here at home, and we increased our trade with Denmark over 43%. I fought for American companies for a more level playing field because no other country treats us fair and square in trade, and I will fight for that in the Senate. We have a lot of problems here at home. We need to take care of our people. Our seniors on a fixed income and our working families are suffering from the Joe Biden administration inflation. Everything is costing more. Everything. I get shocked when I go to the store. I will work to bring that inflation down because we're going to end the crazy spending in Washington. We're going to stop him. We're going to also increase our Pennsylvania energy harvesting and laying the pipes. We're going to support our energy and have common sense regulations. I call for Operation Warp Speed for American energy dominance so we don't import Russian gas. I will work to ban critical race theory at the federal level. We will work to secure our border and finish building that wall so that we stop the invasion by illegal immigrants and the fentanyl, the #1 killer of our young people, that is coming from China. It's a kind of war. China to Mexico and through the border. It's a communist Chinese party cartel war on our American youth. We have to stop it. We need a strong America First president elected in 2024 in order to reestablish order around the world. We have a weak and corrupt compromised president in the White House. We need to stop him in 2024. Elect me in 2022, and I will never let you down. It's Carla Sands for U.S. Senate, carlasands.com. I need your help, and I need your vote. Thank you.
Boy, thank you, Carla. Next up, we have Dave Moyer of the 24th Senate District in Pennsylvania.
Good evening, Patriots. Appreciate you having me here tonight. I'm Dave Moyer. I live in southeastern Berks County, Washington Township. Lifelong resident of Berks County. Currently a 10-year supervisor in Washington Township. I've been on that board. We had a lot of problems with our sewer down there. We had spending out of control. In the last 10 years, we brought our sewer rates down for the people. We brought our sewer down from $15 million, just a little under $8 million. Very proud of where we took our township. One of the things I'm going to tell you, I've been married for 40 years, so I'm very committed. It's important because without my wife, I couldn't do this. I have 2 daughters and I have 3 granddaughters. Something I'm very proud of. The other day I heard my granddaughter say, "Pappy, you're going to make a difference for the people of the 24th District." She's 7 years old. Listen, and that takes me right into the education. We need to get rid of CRT. We need to make sure that that doesn't come in any other avenue. We need to hold our school officials accountable to what they are allowing to be taught to our kids. I fear for my grandkids. I'm a Second Amendment person, stand on our Constitution. One of the things that I want to ask you tonight is, how you like the roads we drive on? Yeah, I know. I drive about anywhere from 1,200 to 1,500 miles a day, a week. And I'm going to tell you something, our roads are in bad shape. Where's our tax money go? Where's our tax money go for that, our gas tax? That's where it's supposed to go. Bridges and roads. It's sad, very sad. I'm going to tell you something. We need to bring back accountability to the local people. You're the guys that put us here. We need to be accountable to you. We need to bring this 24th district back to the local people. When I say that as a township official, when I call on a senator or somebody to do something for us, do they ever answer us back? While me, I give my people my phone number, my personal phone number, because that's the accountability I need to have to you people. And that's what we need to look for. And why? You might say, am I running? I'm running because I care, and I want to get the best buck for what we're paying on our taxes and such. School taxes, it's crazy. So, okay, thank you. I will do the best I can do in this state legislative 24th district. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. I think I better get this cord out of the way. Okay, next up, we have Jamie Barton running for the 124th State Representative District.
Hello, my brother and sister patriots. It's got to be confusing for you all out there seeing so many different people come up here, right? So I'm running for the 124th. That's the House seat. It's currently held by a fellow named Jerry Knowles, right? He's retiring. So my plan is to fill that seat. and I want to share a little bit about you, but it's good to be in a room of conservative Republicans tonight, and I'm proud to be of the party that embraces our Constitution and the America First agenda. How about that? And what is it that brings us together, right? Every third Thursday we're here. What is it that brings us together? It's a belief in God first, right? How about that? And it's a protection of the unborn. You've been hearing a lot of that tonight. It's defending our Second Amendment. It's a commitment to less government, right? These are all the things that bring us here to this room every third Thursday of the month. It's securing our elections. It's got to be one of the biggest. And it's a belief in the individual. And that's what makes these primaries so hard, because we all pretty much agree on the same stuff. The difference is in the candidate and their backgrounds. My name's Jamie Barton. I'm running for the 124th Legislative District. I serve here in the Berks Patriots on our legislative team, and I'm proud of that. But I'm a coal guy. I'm an oil guy. I'm a businessman. I'm not from politics. I'm from the business world. And as a businessman and as an executive with a major oil company, a major corporation has been serving this community for generations, I know what it takes to create jobs. And it starts with a school system, an education system that gives our kids the knowledge and the skills they need to thrive and to excel. Without the liberal critical race theory and without attacking our family values in school, right? And then it continues with a regulatory system that doesn't think small businesses are trying to cheat them all the time, and a regulatory system that's easy to understand. Beyond that, Pennsylvania is one of the highest tax states in the country. We need to reduce that tax burden and give it back to small business so they can reinvest in their community, reinvest in their employees, reinvest in their community. Folks, you heard it all tonight, right? The difference is I've lived it. And I'll take that knowledge, I'll take that experience to Harrisburg to get things done. That's what this campaign is about, getting things done in Harrisburg. Look, I won Businessman of the Year last year, and I'm proud of that. Not because of the accolades, because it recognized getting things done. That's what this is about, getting things done for our community, for our families, for our small businesses. I also am from the community side too, right? Community service. If we're going to be in service, we're going to speak and go into community service. That's what they call this, public service, right? If you're going to be in public service, what's your background in public service? I've been a coach, a lay pastor, a Sunday school teacher. I'm involved in Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I've been a Big Brother. I'm on the board of directors there. And let me tell you something, that if we're going to be of service, you have to come from service, and that's the very basis of why I'm running. Folks, my name's Jamie Barton. I'm running for the 124th Legislative District. That's this district right here. I appreciate your vote and your support. Thank you very much.
Keep that cord out of the way. Thanks, Jamie. Next up, we have Regina Morrow. She's running for the 6th Congressional District.
Hello, Patriots. Good to see you again. I don't have a lot of time. There's so much I want to tell you, and I don't have a lot of time about the things that I believe in. Many of you already saw me speak last month, and just how deeply my life is just driven by my convictions, my beliefs, the way I was raised. Where liberty is the most important thing. When you lose it, it's gone. And there's so many ways that they're getting so creative at stripping away that liberty. Whether it comes to election integrity, that's something that I have been fighting for years before it came, en vogue to talk about. The need for voter ID. I would suggest, since I don't have a lot of time and I want to share something new with you, if anybody has access to Twitter, the one thing I can do that most people can't, I have a documented history of activism in all the things that we believe in, whether it has to do with illegal immigration, with abortion, voter ID, Second Amendment. And I'm talking about not just posting things retweeting things. I'm talking about homemade videos that I did based on my research. I red pilled so many people in years, it's not even funny. I was a big threat, thank you. I was a very big threat to the left. One thing I mentioned last time, it was to the point where Nancy Pelosi started monitoring me. Why? Not because she liked me, because I was very effective. I was very much a threat. That's one of the reasons why I decided to jump in. I know that I can disarm Chrissy Houlihan. I jumped in. We lived on the same street for 14 years. I never saw the woman. Same street. I pass her house every single day, walking or driving. We have a lot of friends in common. Everybody's fooled into believing that she's a moderate. She's no moderate. And I know that, I'm not just saying it, I've actually looked at the things that she votes for, the things that seem very innocent. But I am a heck of a researcher. I dig into the bills, all those 800 pages of bills. I have ways of finding certain words, and that's where you find the dirt. The kinds of things that strip your liberty, that take religion and our children out of our lives. And it's very sneaky. So if you want to know where I stand on things, I was part of the original Latinos for Trump. When it was formed, we did it, it was early 2016. You'll see that on my Twitter feed. I had to do it outside of Pennsylvania for my own safety because it was very scary. I faced Antifa many times. I faced Black Lives Matter many times. So I did it under an assumed persona. So the point I wanted to make, because I'm running out of time, a big reason why I decided to jump into this race, I called the chairman of the Republican committee in Chester County, and I said, Gordon, because they were gentlemen that I knew were running, do you have a woman running? This is not about identity politics. This is about being smart. If you look, Google it. Women candidates defeat time and time again. It is what it is. So if you have a qualified female who has the same beliefs, there has to be a base, right? You have to be a patriot. We have to share the same values. But then we have to think, it's not good enough to talk about what we're going to do when we get to Congress. Are you going to get to go to Congress to do it? And I have a card in the back that shows the history of the last two elections against Chrissy Houlihan. She faced Greg McCauley. She raised $4.3 million. He raised not even $200,000. She ended up with 59% of the vote when we had a voter registration advantage of over 11,000. Go look at it in the back. We cannot do the same thing, put the same candidate profile and expect a different result. We need somebody who's going to grow the base and disarm her appeal to women. Believe it or not, Republican women in Chester County, the ones that admit it, have voted for her because they believe she's a moderate. You ask them, well, she's a woman, and she's a moderate. It's okay. That's why I'm in this, and I'm telling you that I'm the one that can take her out of that seat. Thank you.
Thanks, Regina. Next, we have U.S. Senate candidate Sean Gale.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Gale, and I'm running for United States Senate, frankly, for the same reason why you're all here.
And that's because instinctively we know we are in a crisis situation where the future of the conservative movement, the future of the Republican Party, and frankly, the future of the nation really hangs in the balance. And there's been this ongoing battle between the GOP establishment and the conservative base of the Republican Party. And it's a battle that's been going on for decades. Years ago, we used to hear about the Goldwater conservatives running against the Rockefeller Republicans. Those were the rhinos of yesteryear. And in 1980, there was a Goldwater conservative named Ronald Reagan running against a Rockefeller Republican named George H.W. Bush. And Ronald Reagan won that primary, went on to become president. And what we saw is under a true conservative president, the country flourished. But what was the lasting legacy of the Reagan administration? It was the Bush era of Republican politics. Because after Reagan in '88, we got George H.W. Bush, later his son George W., and really that continued with McCain and Romney until Donald Trump came along. And during that time, there was only one voice for conservatism we could rely on, and that was a guy on the radio named Rush Limbaugh for 33 years of broadcasting excellence. And now they've lost him. And then in 2016, Donald Trump came along and he blew the doors off the Republican Party. And he rebranded it as his patriotic populist party with an America First agenda. And like we saw with Ronald Reagan, he was making America great again. And despite knowing that those policies were clearly working, we can see there's a push to go back to the era of Bush, McCain, and Romney, and we cannot go backward to move forward. But we see it's happening. It's happening right within the Republican National Committee. So if you said, who's the biggest never-Trumper in the country, the poster boy of the never-Trump movement? It's Mitt Romney, right? He voted to convict Trump twice. I think that gives him the title. Who's the head of the Republican National Committee? It's Ronna Romney McDaniel. It's his niece. It's good cop, bad cop. One fights for the North, one fights for the South, and no matter what happens, the Romneys are on the winning side. And we need to change the Republican Party, and that starts in the Senate, because we cannot afford any more backstabbing rhinos. We have plenty of them. One of them being our U.S. Senator, Pat Toomey, who's been a complete disgrace. And we have all these Republicans, they promise us the world, and what do we get? Absolutely nothing. And for years we heard repeal and replace Obamacare. Repeal and replace Obamacare. Donate today, we're going to get it done. And when we gave them a Republican majority in the House, the Senate, and the presidency, what happened? Donald Trump said, give me the bill, let's do it, let's repeal and replace it. Paul Ryan twiddled his thumbs, finally got a bill together. It goes to the Senate floor, and what happened? John McCain with the famous thumbs down, the vote that stopped it. Or where do you see all the Republicans now? They're all down at the border. They have a big sign. It says Biden's border crisis. They're saying, Kamala Harris, get down here and fix this immediately. But what did they do when they had control? They fought Donald Trump every step of the way. Pat Toomey voted against funding the border wall. So if I was standing at the border, I'd have a big sign too. But mine would say Toomey's border crisis, because that's who I hold responsible. Not the Democrats who run on open borders. They don't care about drugs and disease and illegals coming across. That's what they promise us. I blame the Republicans who promised us border security, and when we gave them the majorities to do it and a president who was more than willing to do it, they failed to get it done. And it goes well beyond just legislatively. Look at Trump's Department of Justice. Whether it was Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who recused himself from basically everything, or Attorney General Bill Barr, who wasn't any better. Who got investigated? Who went to jail? Manafort, General Flynn, Roger Stone, Michael Cohen, all Trump allies. But name a Democrat. Now, we were at rallies chanting, lock her up, lock her up. Was Hillary Clinton investigated? Was the Clinton Foundation investigated? No, but Donald Trump was investigated for Russia collusion. He was either being investigated or impeached every day of his presidency and even thereafter. But all along the way, we had to hear guys like Lindsey Graham come on Fox News and say, we got the Durham report, we got the Mueller report, we got the FISA hearing, we're going to get to the bottom of all this. And whatever happens, nothing. But they make sure to tell you, go to lindseygraham.com, lindseygraham.com, donate today, we're fighting for you. Well, I've had enough of it, that's why I'm running for the Senate. Look, I realize I'm going to be one of 100 U.S. senators. I can't tell you I'm going to go down and single-handedly build the border wall myself. I can't make that pledge. And there are other conservatives. Ted Cruz is a constitutional conservative with a pristine voting record on all the issues. I'd probably vote like Ted Cruz. But what Ted Cruz isn't that I am is a disruptor to the system. I'm going there not only to hold the Democrats accountable, but those bad Republicans who have failed us time and time again. Guys like Mitch McConnell, majority leader, now minority leader. He's been there for 36 years. 79 years old, just got elected to 6 more years. If he hasn't got it done yet, he's not going to get it done now. We need to get rid of him. And on the first day in the Senate, I'm going to lead the effort to oust Mitch McConnell as the leader of our party. He's got to go. Thank you very much. I'm Sean Gale. God bless you all.
Thank you, Sean. We're winding down here, and the next one we have is Charlie Garreau as a governor candidate. Charlie?
Hey, let me remind everybody in the back, we still have a few more speakers. Please show respect to these people speaking. It's getting quite loud back there. If you need to talk, take it outside. Thank you.
Especially this next one. I'm really glad to be back here tonight. It's not true that I come just for the food, although I got to say, there's nobody that serves up better chow than the Berks County Patriots. I'm really here because I am honored to be with patriots like each and every one of you that are fighting every single day for our individual liberties, for our personal freedoms, for our Constitution, and for our country. And I'm running for governor because I want to carry that fight into the November election, because I believe that we are in a battle for the heart and soul of this country, a battle that we can't afford to lose. And those battle lines come right through Pennsylvania this year because we have an opportunity to reject the big government, big spending, top-down management, mismanagement, arbitrary, capricious, lockdown, shutdown, edict, mandate, nefarious, capricious, and then vindictive and mean-spirited actions of Tom Wolf and his political henchman, Josh Shapiro. And we have the opportunity to turn to something much better and much different. A future of individual liberty, of personal freedom, of hope and growth and opportunity, and that's why I'm running for governor. From my days with Ronald Reagan, but for whom I began my career, and as you know, I worked for President Reagan on and off for 25 years, including the arrangements for his funeral, to my current service as the vice chairman of CPAC, and yes, we had Barry Joswiak as one of our award winners for his conservative record as a legislator, along with several other Pennsylvanians who distinguished themselves as fighters for freedom this year. I'm here to take on Josh Shapiro because that has to be the focus of this campaign. The very first thing that was said tonight was that Josh Shapiro is job one in terms of defeating him this fall, because as bad as Tom Wolf has been, Josh Shapiro would be worse. If Josh Shapiro was governor for 4 years, we'd be looking back at the Wolf administration as the good years. And let me say this. I've been at every debate. I hope that you have had an opportunity to watch some of these debates, because the cream really does rise to the top, and you really do see who's going to be able to take on Josh Shapiro on those 3 nights in October when he's going to be forced to climb the stage and take on the Republican nominee for governor. If you weren't at those debates, people have the right to ask, why not? If you're afraid to take on other Republicans, how in the heck are you going to take on Josh Shapiro? If you're afraid to fight in those moments, how are you going to stand up in November? And let me say this too. Having worked for President Reagan for a long time, I believe in the 11th commandment. I try very hard not to speak ill of any other Republicans. So I won't do that tonight. Instead, I will quote our president, Donald J. Trump, who said, "Do not vote for Bill McSwain, a coward who let his country down." Those are the words of President Trump. They're not mine. And I hope that that helps you to narrow your choices just a little bit, because the fall fight is going to be here, and it's going to begin with a fight for election integrity. And that begins with a fight over Act 77. Please, please, do not allow anybody to tell you that Act 77 was really okay, and it was simply hijacked by the courts and by Governor Wolf, because that's simply not true. It was on its face unconstitutional. The Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania found it to be unconstitutional. I was one of the people that led the fight immediately after the 2020 election to declare it unconstitutional. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, as it always does, overruled the Commonwealth Court. But Act 77 was a disaster from the beginning. It remains that way. If I'm governor, I'll get the legislature to bring a bill to my desk to immediately repeal it. And then we'll get to work on the rest of election integrity. I don't get a yellow card? I got the red card already. Well, listen, real quickly, I will honor the timelines here. I will say thank you. But I will say, please remember that I am an outsider who knows what's going on inside. I'm a businessman that knows how things should be run. And I, like you, am a patriot willing to fight for our Constitution, our values, and our freedoms. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Charlie. And now we have Dan Burton Jr. coming up for the 4th District. It's getting late, thank you.
You guys are doing great. I'm almost the last person, so buckle up. I'm about to tell you what we're doing here. I'm a little bit different than a lot of the other candidates you've seen here this evening. I'm not a politician. Some of them aren't. But I'll tell you a little bit about me for a second, and then I'm going to tell you what we're going to do together, okay? So, I'm a Marine. I served this country. I swore an oath to this country. I swore an oath to defend it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath means a lot to me, and it means a lot to all of you out here tonight. Right now, we are under attack from a domestic enemy. Whether you like it or not, whether you don't want it, whether it keeps you up at night or you don't want to think about it. We are under attack. We are under absolute attack. This is no longer a Republican-Democrat thing. This is good versus evil. Good versus evil. And there is no gray area in good versus evil. It is either evil or it is good. So I'm a father of 3. I have a loving wife back here of 22 years. I love God, my country, my wife, and my family. But I love this country more than anything, and I will die defending it. And I swore an oath to do so. Hoorah! I will die defending this country, and I know most of you here will, too, for your kids, for your grandkids. I'm going to read something briefly to you. I don't like reading off a script. I like speaking from my heart, but I'm going to read this real quick, and then I'll tell you what it is. Please give me the yellow card so I know how long I got. Abolition of land ownership, heavy taxes to the point of crippling individual wealth. Abolition of the right of inheritance, confiscating the property of all immigrants and rebels, or destroying those who disagree with you. Nationalized banks, centralization of all communication, transportation to the government. Government owning all means of production for industry and agriculture. Establishment of worker armies, gradual abolition of the distinction of cities and towns, so forced resettlement, and free education. Does anybody know what that is? It's the Communist Manifesto. I think you can see all 10 of those points in our current government right now. If you want to talk about a domestic enemy, that's the one we're fighting right now. It's not Republican and Democrat. It's establishment. It's evil. It is absolutely what is coming after you, our children, and everything else that we love. What you need to do in this seat right now is stand up for what you love. Because what we love is being taken from us every single day. Whether it's mandates, whether it's masks being forced upon you, or decisions for your own medical care that you don't like, it is mandates. My opponent, Madeline Dean, has been voting for all of those things. We are spending ourselves to death. We have 8.5% inflation right now. That's an extra $5,000 per family in this country. That's $420 a month more that every family in this country has to pay for. And it's only going to get worse next month. What I stand for is life from conception, but also life after they're born. Right now, our kids are being indoctrinated in our social camps of education. We need to get rid of the Department of Education and the unions that do that. We need to protect life at all times of life, because if we don't stand for life, we stand for death. That's good versus evil. We need to stand, I stand, for the pursuit of happiness. Right now, our government is guaranteeing happiness. Guaranteeing happiness only takes away your self-worth, your self-accountability, and what you should be standing for. The pursuit of happiness is what gives you, is a blessing. It was what makes you who you are, an American. That is America first. The pursuit of happiness. Liberty is the other one. That is freedom of speech. That is being able to make your own decisions. And one of the biggest parts about freedom of speech is our right to vote. And if you don't have the right to vote, then you are truly disenfranchised. Voter ID, paper ballots, that's the only way we get past this. That's the only way we get past this. If we don't have our elections, we don't have a country, and they know that. The enemy knows that. We need to stand for that. Again, my name is Daniel Burton. I am running for Congressional District 4, which is a big portion of Berks County and Montgomery County. I will stand for you. I am going to serve you, not to be served. There's a big difference in that. To serve you. Because we, the people, need to do this. I will be the tip of the spear between you and what is evil, but we need to do it together. We need to stand up. We need to ask ourselves, if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? You all need to do this right now, tonight, because you all have a gift, and you need to stand up and fight for this country. Nobody's going to save it except for you. So stand with me and fight for this country. And again, my name is Daniel Burton. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and God bless all of you. Sorry.
Thank you, Dan. We have one more. Joe Sarosky is running for governor as a libertarian. So thank you. Joe, come on up.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you for the invitation this evening. I truly do appreciate it. One quick correction I'd like to make to the introduction. I am Joe Solosky. I am your Keystone Party candidate, very liberty-minded candidate for governor of Pennsylvania this year. So while you said libertarian, I wanted to correct that. I am Keystone Party. We are new. We're going nationwide. And we are probably the most liberty-minded party that you've ever seen. I am running for governor because I want to have a hand in some desperately needed liberty changes that have to happen here in Pennsylvania. I've listened to speeches all this evening, and I hear a lot of similarities of things that we believe in. Pro-life, pro-2A, so many other things that when you look at government over the last decades, especially the last 4 decades, those liberties have been encroached upon. Your personal liberties are not what they used to be. And I'm saying that as a former Republican. I was a Republican for 40 years, and I got disenchanted because I just didn't think there was enough liberty-mindedness there. When I would see candidates like a Pat Toomey, a Lindsey Graham, go a little soft on things like 2A, I'm saying to myself, I can't do this. I need to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to do that. I'm going to run for office. In 2020, I ran for state treasurer. I gathered enough votes at that time to, along with 2 other candidates, win minor party status for my party at that time. And that was huge. That was huge because it helps us in special elections and it helps get our name out there. We will be promoting Keystone Party left and right, primarily here in Pennsylvania this year. This is our launch pad, and it's going to be very, very exciting. As I mentioned a few moments ago, well, they don't make them like they used to, do they? As I mentioned a few moments ago, there's a lot of similarities I hear about me and what I believe in, and the other speeches I've heard tonight from the other candidates. When I hear things about I'm pro-2A, well, that's a wonderful thing. You know, we all have to have the right to defend ourselves and our families. I take it a step further. Like many counties in this state and many states in this country, We need to be a constitutional carry state, period. Thank you. Along with that, and you know, I am certainly no Governor Wolf fan. Heck no. I don't want to see Mr. Shapiro win in any way, shape, or form, and I look forward to taking on your nominee and Mr. Shapiro on the debate stages. That will be a great time. But when I see that they look at things like 2A, I want to see concealed carry permits thrown away. There's no reason why we need to be renewing concealed carry permits every few years just to have a backdoor tax to Harrisburg. Those need to go away. A little bit about me, my background. I'm a CPA. I ran my own practice in the Pittsburgh area for 30 years. I now live in Centre County, and I look forward to this wonderful campaign and meeting these other candidates, taking them on person to person. And as I said, I truly believe that I am your best liberty voice. There are so many things we need to change in this state. I hope you stop back at my table, shake my hand. I would love to meet you. I've got a few cards there telling you where I stand on the issues. I would appreciate it if you'd pick one up. I truly think that as we go forward, we have to lead by example. And as I take office next January, I want you to know that, you know, as I look at our budget, which has gone up 100% in just 20 years, I will be working every year to cut that budget by at least 5%. I will shut down Pennsylvania government every year if that's what it takes to do it. Thank you. And I will lead by example. Our current governor gets a salary of over $200,000 a year. I said gets a salary. I never said he earned it. And I will slash my salary by 65% to 70 grand on day one. And I figure if I can lead by example, I can now go to the legislature and say, let's cut the damn budget. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been extremely gracious, and I cannot thank you enough for the invitation and for having me. Thank you for indulging and listening to me speak. I'd love to meet each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening, and let liberty reign. Thank you.
Wait, I think the hardest thing we're going to have is deciding who to vote for when you have more than one candidate in the field. All these folks were top notch. I'm really impressed with the candidates Berks County is putting out this year. We're wrapping up with that. There were a few that couldn't make it at the last minute, so the good news is it'll be program's a little shorter. So up next, we're going to take care of the 50-50 raffle tickets, so get your tickets out.
Folks, let's give a big hand for our legislative committee, legislative chairman, Wayne Lesher, all the hard work that they put into for a couple of months. Folks, please don't leave your seats yet. We're going to have a closing prayer once we do the 50-50. I do want to make an announcement. Next month, folks, we have not forgot about the November 2020 election. We have not forgot. We are going to be talking about that next month. We're going to have Audit the Vote here. We're going to have Dr. Douglas Frank. You really need to see and hear these people. It's fantastic. This is not going away. Okay, now we're going to do the 50-50.
Last four numbers. 4079. That's the last four numbers. So it's 2344079. Oh, $263.
Check careful.
Check careful.
Check your card.
4079. Last four numbers. All right, come on up. And then we got one bonus prize. 4079. Oh. Yep, right there, right there. He's got it. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
We have a T-shirt to give away, too.
Last four numbers, 4659. 4659. 4659. Nope. Okay, all right.
John Fielding is going to close us in prayer.
Let us stand. Let us pray. Lord, we realize you have sounded the trumpet that shall never spell defeat. Lord, we pray that that we would remember that the battle is yours. That we would not be shirkers, that we would not be summer soldiers or sunshine patriots, but that we would go out and do our duty to return this Commonwealth to your will and to your word. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
And we do have a winner for the bonus prize. Drive safely, folks. See you all next month. Thank you much.